Hello, everyone. So I will be discussing redistricting, and I am going to try to figure out how to use this clicker as the people before me have. Oh, there we are. So redistricting. Every 10 years, the United States has a census, and based on that census, states have to redraw their state legislative and congressional lines. Our Constitution says that the times, places, and manners of holding elections for senators and representatives shall be prescribed in each state by the legislature thereof, meaning that in theory, the state legislatures have control over this line drawing process. However, over time, there is developed this idea of the gerrymander, coming from an 1812 political cartoon regarding Massachusetts Governor Eldridge Gerry, but it's the gerrymander. I don't know. So gerrymandering is drawing lines to advantage some particular party. There's political gerrymandering to help a political party, and there's also racial gerrymandering to disadvantage or advantage a racial group. So my research looked at a potential solution to gerrymandering, which is the introduction of commissions. There are 4 types of commissions that I looked at. One that I looked at most particularly, but there's an advisory commission that advises the state legislature, a backup commission that acts as a backup if a state legislature cannot pass lines, a politician commission that has power over drawing the lines but is made up of political appointees, usually not your everyday citizen, and then independent commissions, which I call IRCs, and are the focus of my study, which are typically made up of citizens. And I focus specifically on congressional redistricting. So my questions were, how do IRCs emerge and how do they function? What factors are important? This is answered by the quantitative research I did, and the other 2 questions, what are the benefits and flaws of IRCs today, and what are the implications of commissions, are answered by the qualitative research I did. So my methodology, I looked at the 44 states in the United States that have 2 or more congressional districts. The other 6 just have 1 congressional district as of the 2020 census and thus do not do congressional redistricting. I did a quantitative analysis of state characteristics regarding racial and ethnic makeup, regarding median income, college education, percentage that voted for Biden in 2020, and other various factors that I thought could be a characteristic of states that have commissions. And then I went into 4 case studies, 3 of which are independent commission states, and 1 is non-independent commission state, and you'll learn a little bit more about the case studies soon enough. I looked at the history, the structure, and the results in 2021-22 cycle for each of these 4 case studies with redistricting. So quantitative results, it's a pretty scarce slide, I recognize this. But the most important thing from these quantitative results is that 6 out of 7 independent commissions are in the West as defined by the US Census. Only 1, Michigan, is outside of the West. Also, all 7 of these independent commission states have some sort of citizen ballot initiative process. All of the 7 independent commission states, their average Black population as of the 2020 census is 6.09% of the population, which is less than half of the average population of the average Black population of those 44 states. And the most strongly Black populated parts of the country are in the South, where there is a preponderance of conservative legislatures with a history of limiting the rights of minority voters, which may explain why black population seems to be so strongly inversely related to the having commissions. So Arizona, it was my first case study. So the Arizona Independent Redistricting Commission was established in 2000 with Proposition 106. A Supreme Court case in 2015 decided that independent commissions were legitimate ways to draw lines, which was very big. It has a 5-person commission, and with the 2021-2022 cycle, there was a question of whether this map that you can see is representative, given that Arizona has 2 Democratic senators voted, their electoral votes narrowly went to Joe Biden, but this map in 2022 will likely elect 6 Republicans and 3 Democrats, given the partisan environment. Next, Colorado was established through Amendment Y in 2018. It has a 12-person commission with equal representation between Democrats, Republicans, and independents. There was a question of minority representation. Colorado gained a district, the 8th district in the Denver suburbs, and they thought, because of the population growth in Colorado being based on Hispanic voters, that it was going to be a Hispanic majority district. It was not, and so there was concern about that. Additionally, Colorado is moving to the left, but they drew a very much a toss-up district as that 8th district. In Michigan, it was passed the same time as Colorado. Proposition 2 established a 13-person commission, 5 unaffiliated voters, 4 Democrats, 4 Republicans. They have encountered lots of lawsuits regarding getting rid of 2 majority-minority black districts in Detroit and replacing them with one plurality black district. There has also been questions about splitting of communities of interest of municipalities, all for the sake of making a very competitive map. 4 out of 13 of these districts are largely considered to be competitive districts. And finally, Utah, they tried to pass an independent commission in 2018. They passed Proposition 4, but SB 200, passed by the state legislature, made it a completely advisory commission that all they had to do was produce the map, which the independent commission produced a map. That's what that is. And this is the map that the state legislature passed after they completely ignored the independent commission. It has 7 political appointees instead of citizens. And as I said, the commission maps were ignored. So, conclusions. Independent redistricting commissions are imperfect solutions, but they do go to this idea of having voters pick their representatives instead of having legislators pick the representatives for voters. One thing that bothered me throughout this is each state has a list of criteria, and in that criteria, competitiveness is near the bottom for each state's commission. Yet time after time, it seems like competitiveness was put ahead of any idea of fairness, whatever that word may or may not mean. I have this little thing that says fair is fair, but what does fairness mean? These maps are not necessarily the most politically representative or the most racially representative. So it seems that competitiveness was in the back of the minds of these commissioners. Additionally, it seems like due to partisan vitriol, these independent, unaffiliated members that are on each commission are key to try to limit partisan influence from getting into the process. And finally, I question what the future of these commissions are. There's an idea of unilateral disarmament as more liberal and moderate states give in to commissions while more conservative states hold on to legislative control. So I question whether liberal states will want to keep commissions if it means giving up seats in the U.S. House. So we'll see. Thank you.